Welcome, everyone, to Star Wars Saturdays, which is an ongoing anthology. Oh, hey, I'm Rich, by the way. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. I try to jump ahead of my normal intro because I'm so excited. Star Wars Saturdays is this ongoing anthology campaign where I take different RPGs, hack, reskin, or just say we're in Star Wars now, and folks from the Open Hearth community will gather together, create characters, or revisit characters from previous games in Star Wars Saturdays. We tell a story. This is the finale for now of our stellar conflict. I think I can call it a campaign. Once you hit like 12, 13 sessions in indie games, that's nothing in D&D land. I own that. But this is like, a soft finale, end of a season. It's a season finale. There. I think that sits best with me. Season finale for our stellar conflict game. As is our want, we BS'd a good bit before games, so I'm going to jump straight in without intros or anything. Just a reminder, we do use safety tools. We have X-Card, we have Open Door, we also have Lines and Veils and Ask Firsts. We have all of that. It's standard to how I like to play, and I'm playing with an amazing group of folks. Sadly, we are Sans Ian Andesh. He's unable to join us for the finale, and this is a shame. And it's a shame, but that's okay. We knew it was a possibility. Family trumps game is the way that it works, friends. So, in the last session, previously on, we had we'd see a couple of cuts. First of the group looking into a hangar where there's someone in Jedi robes that is obviously sitting, waiting for them. We see Tassa Bray discovering that this is not a person. See the blinking red light that is the TV indicator for an explosion coming. Gigantic explosion, people thrown about, the detritus. We see Tassa Bray, and people who watched the last episode are like, wait, I didn't see Tassa Bray knocked out like that. She just disappeared. They slipped in unused footage in this recap. That kind of violates some of my expectations. It wasn't previously on, damn it. But there it is, as we see Tassa Bray hurt badly, so much so that she would probably end up in, I don't know, a Bacta tank or something. We also see previously unreleased footage of Teal Path being carried away by one of the Space Patrol folks, taking her to a medical facility. Both of them injured too badly to continue. Cause Kingrave and Cincinnati Soul Run taking off after a camera droid that was watching with because someone had directed the droid to do so. Who could that be? We don't know. Cincinnati Soul Run running into the promenade of the Neffel station where you currently are, jumping, grabbing the camera, falling to his death. No, he's okay. Cause Kingrave having a brief conversation with Doug Shabor, the Anzellan, who had a buddy. We see a little snippet of the buddy who was sitting in a bucket that had some like flame burner underneath it. It was some kind of makeshift Anzellan jacuzzi tub there, and then the Anzellan dug on Cause's shoulders. Cincinnati with the camera droid, which has been made inoperative, heading to the lovely Duchess Gambit, now fixed up, the ship that is also perhaps a home for this crew. And then the last moment that we saw before the end of our last session / episode is that the doors to the Duchess Gambit open before you even approach the gangplank, and a woman stepped out, a woman named Maria Samian. And we open this particular session with Cisco is here. He's going to be here in just a minute. I'm going to tap dance for a minute because I just saw that he's. So I'm going to stop and take a drink. I really did intend to begin the game with a bang, but I think it's important for Cincinnati to be back. So switch. We see her, and we hear a sound effect before a cutaway. We hear, oh, probably more like there we go. We hear that sound effect instead. Cisco, can you please roll a d10?
Okay. Rolling, are they rolling? Did I take a damage? Is that what
You're
happened?
getting ready to.
Oh, okay. All right. 1d10. Okay.
Since currently sitting at 10 HP, which feels like I should say that out loud.
It's true. It's true. If you'd rolled a 10, you could be dead, but instead,
No,
you
if I rolled
are,
a 10, I still have 1 armor, so I would have been okay.
oh man!
Actually, I know. So
Oh,
I
I forgot
actually
to tell you, there's a +8 modifier. No.
Did I say D10? I meant D10 plus 2.
Actually 3d6. No.
Oh, ouch.
But
Well,
that's
I actually rolled a 2, and then with my 1 armor, I only take 1 damage.
you get grazed in the shoulder, and realizing that Samyan did not kill you, she closes the door, and you hear her running through the ship. You think, hey, maybe she's going to steal the Duchess Gambit.
So is this a woman that I gave the space keys to?
Yeah.
So she's trying to kill me again? After I
Yeah.
specifically asked her not to?
Hold on.
I believe,
have a wish-
Cisco,
I have
that
a-
you
I have a
said, I'll
wish
come
of
back
a-
and we can do this again. I believe.
spin up into action fast. Hard frame into that. It's a wish I just granted. So your logic has been trumped. There. I grant wishes here, Cisco. And the wish granting was to hard frame you into getting shot. And
Yeah, I
she's
like
gonna
it.
try to steal your ship.
Oh my
what do you do?
jeez. Okay. I think Sin is like, ah! And then he almost falls back in his chair, and then he's gonna get up, and then he's gonna scream like, "This is the last time I get shot in my own ship." I'm gonna chase her.
Anzella makes some kind of joke in Anzella that it's like not likely that that's the last time.
I'm also gonna whip out my blaster, and I'm gonna set it from kill to stun.
Nice.
This person must be reasoned with. This is my old girl's sister.
It's true.
She never liked you anyways.
Yeah, probably.
Nice. Old girl sister. Quick cut back to Rika Somyan, who was killed in a huge fight here on Nephil Station against a force-wielding maniac bounty hunter by the name of Vanagander. So, yeah, you hear the engines are starting to spin up.
She's trying to steal the ship with us in it. She's not even like a.
No, you're not on
criminal.
it. No, you're standing. You were in the hangar. You were headed towards the gangway. She opened the door, shot you, saw she didn't kill you, sees there's other people, including very terrifying Cause Kingrave, closes the door and decides, hey, okay, I'll just steal the ship and get out of here.
Oh, so it's like what is it called? The gangway, right?
Yep.
It's like this. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take out my communicator and be like, Rosie, open up the hatch. And we have, because of course we're a smuggling ship, we have this hatch where like we like get rid of the cargo in case the space police are, hot on our trail, and we just launch it into space. So she's gonna open up that hatch, and I'm gonna try to get inside of it.
All right, cool. So yeah, a little hatch opens up. It's not the way the airlock. This is generally not a great idea, I would imagine, right? If you were out in space, you would need a vac suit of some kind to get on via this method. But yeah,
and it's
or
like
at least
totally jerry-rigged. Or at least what?
I said, or at least the Force.
That's true.
Or at least the Force, which I do not have.
Somehow you could get on board.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, the hatch opens up, and I assume you guys are going to rush aboard. Going to rush aboard?
Yeah, can we have a scene where like I jump on, and then the ship is like slowly taking off, and then like I grab one person at a time, and I'm getting them on the ship.
One person at a time.
You want to make it more
Is that
risky
anything?
for us to get on the ship?
Yeah,
Cisco,
bro.
you can't just let us get on before it takes off.
Bro, it's all about the action, okay? I'm
You
trying
wanna
to win
die,
us
not
an
me.
Oscar
Earlier,
here,
so-
okay? I'm trying to win us an Oscar.
Oh
Sounds
God.
good, sounds good. Yeah, so the ship is taking off when you jump aboard. Cause Kingrave, you have to be pulled onto the ship. Do we want to let Dice decide if
Yes,
there's problems
absolutely.
here? Okay,
If-
let's
That's
do
what I'm
that.
talking
If
about.
Cisco's gonna make it so we don't just get on and that we're flying while we're doing it, I'm gonna roll the goddamn dice.
Listen,
Okay.
there's an Emmy in this for you, okay?
All
Listen,
right.
guys, it's Star Wars. We don't get Emmys except for special effects or music. That's it.
Yet.
We don't get it for dialogue or writing. We don't get it for acting. It's just for the.
Oof, we
Well,
don't get it for
20
we don't get it for musical numbers, that's for sure.
Diego Luna could make Emmy history for Star Wars. Let's just say it. It's gonna
I'm
happen.
pulling for it to happen. But
All right.
not.
I'm rolling Defy Danger, I imagine. I'm trying to get up there fast.
Okay, let's do
Plus
it.
Dex, so +2.
Yeah, Defy Danger plus Dex. +2, you're so dexterous.
I'm dexterous.
It's
I'm a
because you're not
dexterous.
hindered by armor this time, I think.
and
A solid
of
10.
course,
Oh,
okay, cool.
very cool. Very cool. Awesome. You come aboard. I imagine this is one of the little smuggling areas that you have on the Duchess Gambit. What has been left behind here that you maybe didn't realize? Is it like remnants of food, of an old party, of something that you were supposed to have delivered to somebody? What is it that caused Kingrave and Doug the Enzellan see is in this little hidden compartment area?
I think well, there somebody was hiding. I believe our good friend Tirla Path was hiding in this smuggling compartment at some point. So I think it's a lot of her belongings just get dumped out onto the
Oh no!
onto the docking bay.
So it's like a bunch of really nice clothes.
Nice clothes, yeah, like some things that Tirla's gotten, in the past couple of days, weeks, as we've been fighting this kind of freedom fight. It just all comes tumbling out as Sin calls for Rosie to open up the hatch. Just remembering, of course, that this was Sin's maneuver, not mine. I didn't do this.
This is totally Sin. I think there's also like a very voluptuous dancer droid in here. I'm like, oh, well, not gonna need that anymore. And I actually like push it attach along with all this other stuff as well.
Sweet. It's inert, like powered down?
Oh yeah. It hasn't been used for a while, but we also had a side business where I would host bachelor parties on the Duchess Gambit.
Wow. I really opened the door for this. This is all my fault. I regret nothing. Excellent. You guys are trying to get aboard the Duchess Gambit. She's moving. I think the Enzellan reaches and like depresses the little red button, and the compartment closes up. And then we cut away. We hear some ethereal music. The light that we see is odd and distorted somewhat, and then the ethereal music becomes a little more defined, and then it's as if the camera's pulled back a little bit and comes into focus, and we see a back to tank with a red Twi'lek inside. Do you have the breathing mask thing going on?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've got like the breathing mask, and I've got like tubes coming down over that stump that I have of the arm, and like, probably it's not a diaper, right? But it's like,
No.
a hospital
Like
gown
bikini.
kind of thing.
Like bandage bikini thing kind of
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. And I'm just kind of floating there with some bubbles every once in a while.
Excellent. You're floating there, and I think I'm going to enact the new standard of a back to tank flashback. I'm just
Ooh.
putting upon you, Stephen. You have to give us a flashback to sometime earlier in Tassa Bray's life that you find yourself dreaming through?
I think we see a sequence, and it starts out as Tassa Bray and her brother as a child, and they're playing like in this desert landscape, and we see her brother kind of tackle her, and they kind of roll around, and dust kind of comes up, and then we see her older and watching a ship as it leaves this desert area, and kind of waving goodbye as her brother leaves. And then we see another jump, and she's on a ship and looking for her brother, like, where is he? Do you know who he is? And then we see that scene from earlier in the sessions where his face was revealed, and his hatred and his anger, and then he collapses, like that whole suit collapses down to the floor, um and we hear this whisper of I will take you all, and then I wake up. Yeah.
Nice. So your eyes open up and a few bubbles as you are in the back to tank. And by the way, I just want to point out that there's a wish on the table to like hard frame into spinning up action fast. I'm still grinning. That wish. You look through the back to, you see the medical facility. You see lying on one of the gurneys is Tirla Path. She's got like a bandage over her head. She's not up. She's not aware. She's not awake. And as you watch, door opens up, and you see a female Zabrak, yellow, black markings upon her. And she enters. One of the medical personnel walks over to her, and she ignites her lightsaber and impales him, and
Ooh.
does a thing where the camera cuts away, but she was doing this motion where you think she just sliced up. And then she looks right at you and walks over towards Tirla Path.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm gonna say when we hear that slice, and then we hear thud, right, off screen, and she looks at me, and I think the camera sees my eyes widen, and recognition. We've seen this one before, right?
Yes, this is Sombra, the Sith who
Yeah.
you defeated while also fighting with your brother. Who tried to turn
Yes.
on your brother and was beaten badly by your brother, but was not actually killed.
Yeah. And my eyes get wide, and I'm like, recognition. And I think I'm going to, let's see how it works. I think I'm going to use telekinesis from within the back to tank.
Nice.
And I want to see that blast out and everything. Let's see what that looks like.
Oh, you're trying to
I think I have
TK
the Messi
yourself,
tag.
like you're busting out of the
Yeah.
back to tank. Oh, that's cool.
That's
I thought you were going to do
awesome.
something to her while still in the back to tank, but I like.
No, I just want to explode the back to tank, and maybe shards of glass will go towards her. We'll see. But
We'll see.
Telekinesis, hack and slash as a weapon, and I can use wisdom. I thought there was something about it being messy now, but we'll see. Let me make sure I get that.
Piercing 2.
There we go. That is a 9. Good. Okay.
On 7 to 9, you also choose 1. You apply either too little force or too much. You attract unwanted attention. You expend 1 focus. You're sitting at 4 focus.
Yeah. But I think I want to use too little or too much force. Yeah. Do I
Sounds good.
choose which?
Sure. Let you.
Yeah. So I think it's too much, and I think what we actually see is we see this blast, and like we see the wall as like bits and shards of glass, or what is it in Star Wars? Plexi,
Oh,
the clear
the
plexi stuff,
transparent steel and blah 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 blah.
something like that. Transparent steel, kind of shatters against the wall, and we hear this, this noise, and this wave of Bacta just goes flashing out across the whole room.
Excellent.
What, are
Yeah.
you angry here, Tassa? I'm curious. Is
Ooh,
there
that's a
any
good
anger?
point.
Is there any anger or
No, I
Especially
think
after
I'm
this
stuff?
flashback
scared.
memory, I just
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
oh, fear.
I think I'm more
Well,
scared.
fear leads to anger. I'm just
That's right.
saying.
Anger's next. I'm just saying.
Before we move too far ahead, you granted my request for a flashback. Therefore, you get the benefits of being in the Bacta tank, which is it's there to heal you. So please roll a d8.
Okay. Hey,
Wow, you really needed that.
I did. I had 3 hit points before. Now I rolled an 8 and I have 11. That's great.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, cool. Sweet. Boom! Explosion happens, and glass shards everywhere. We see a bunch of cuts on the Zabrak. We also see, looking past the Zabrak, we see fresh cuts open up on the unconscious and helpless Tirla Path. And you hear it, the sound of her lightsaber, that low, ambient, malevolent hum.
I think before we were hearing it through the Bactus, so it was just this little,
Right.
and now, we hear that it's threatening. Yeah.
Yes. Very malevolent and threatening. And she's like, okay, you exploded out. Awesome. I'm gonna cut Tirla Path in half. What do you do?
Is this a good time for defend? What does defend let me do?
Yeah, you get readiness. I think it's what you're angling towards here.
Yeah. Or so if I attack her, she could still be within range. So I think it would be defend. And that's with con, right?
It is when you take up a defensive stance or jump
Yeah.
in to protect others. Roll plus con. Now, just let's talk a little bit of the fiction here. Are you imagining you're using? Oh, I like that facial expression. That is a bad thing. That appears to be Snake Eyes. Did you
Yeah,
imagine
so
it
let's
was
talk about the fiction.
telekinesis, or do you think that you did some kind of like Jedi? I'm sorry, not Jedi. Say some Shah fast move thing. What do you think?
I think this was, I had 2 options. One was push her away, but defend doesn't sound right for that. I think this is stepping between the 2 of them.
Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah. So if I don't know what the distance is, but if it's far enough, then it's a fast move to get in between Tirla Path and Sombra.
Okay. And she's coming like a double-handed strike. The thought is, I'm just going to cut Tirla Path in half. Did you reach up with your one hand to try to grab hold and force her back? Is that what you think?
I think, yeah. I think what I would do is I'd reach up with the stump of that arm that had the medical equipment attached to it, and was trying to basically block her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Block that thing from coming down. Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. I think that what happens, she comes overhand strike, you move in, you move up with the stump. She shifts the angle and just slices from shoulder down. Please roll a d8.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Tassa.
And that's another
no.
What the back to giveth, the lightsaber takes away. You just rolled it.
Would armor count there?
Yes.
Right,
For
because
sure.
your armor's the force. Yeah.
Yes, it
My
is.
armor is the force. Yeah. Okay. So I came a little ahead. Yeah.
Slightly. Yeah.
And I think what we see is at the last minute I turn a little bit and we see this the lightsaber, the tip of the lightsaber kind of goes through where the shoulder is. And there's this scorch mark. And I think if you pause the DVD right there, there's like you can see a little bit of that. The it's not a scar, but that burn mark where there's a wound that's been healed back up. Right?
Nice.
They're like
Yeah.
they even went in and put in this prosthetic, like this scar tissue right behind where the lightsaber was to show that it healed back up after the wound. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, she slices down. It's an incredible amount of pain. She doesn't realize, Sombra doesn't realize that the Force protected you from that, what she thinks is a death blow. And she actually pauses from continuing to kill Tirla Path to stare down at you. You hear the lightsaber. She waves it.
Oh, okay, he's back.
Says my internet connection's unstable. Can you guys hear me okay?
You froze for a little while, and then
it was fast
you
forward.
speed through.
Yeah.
So you hear the lightsaber hum near your face, and she says, "Pitiful. Can't believe he chose you over me." Let's cut back to Koth Kingrave, Cincinnati Soul Run, and Doug, everyone's favorite, and Zelen.
Hey.
Hey!
He's the best.
Hands. He's got big hands. Hey! Cool. So the ship has taken off. As far as you know, she thinks she got away from you guys. She's gone out of the hangar. If you remember Neffel Station, inside the gas giant of Arcs, therefore breathable air out there. And what do you wish to do?
I would like to, Doug pressed the red button, pulled up the container, so we're inside the ship proper. But I know we're needing to get out of it. Before we do that, I would like to pull out a weapon. My sniper rifle, of course, blew up in my hands, so I need something else. And I'm gonna pull out a small snub pistol, a small snub blaster, of course. So rolling +2. I get an 8. So on the 7 and 9, I believe it happens, but my stock goes down. Let me make sure. I can choose one option, but I can't choose that option again until I restock. Perfect. Okay. Yep. So I'm gonna choose like a small. It's a hand close snub blaster, so it's very maneuverable in close contact, or close quarters rather.
Okay.
What did you roll? You rolled a 9.
I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8. Okay. I was gonna think of a BS way that I could assist you here, but
No,
Okay,
it's
well, I mean, it would give somebody a whole other die to roll, so it's not just +1.
well, and it's not. I mean, for me, it's not necessary.
it's not a big deal. Okay.
It's really not. It's just I just don't get to choose the close option again.
Okay.
So it's not a big deal at all.
Okay.
I'm going to have all of your enemies for the rest of the session close.
Well, as long as I don't lose this weapon, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. All right. Awesome.
So,
so
I have that pulled out.
You guys come up. Rosie is waiting for you because she opened up the she opened up that door, so she knows that you're here. And
ATP chief blocked the door. She threatened to stun me again. I am sorry.
Rosie, you had one job. You're supposed to watch the ship.
I watched the ship. The ship is in good order.
No, Rosie.
Good job, Rosie. All right, Sin, let's go get the ship back.
Okay. I I'm down with that idea. But I want to tell Doug the Unselling to get into like the wiring of the ship and to take like remote control of the ship and land us back safely on the planet.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
He opens up a panel and starts crawling into the panel. It's a similar shot to when Grogu was in trying to fix some of the wiring of the once great ship
I love it.
Din Djarin had that is now blown up. Cool. So, what do you guys want to do?
I would like to approach the cockpit, and what I'd like to do is take out my little hollow puck that I used to call Sadie, and I want to press the call and slide the puck down the opposite side of the hallway to try and get this person's attention and then get the drop on her.
Oh, that's wicked. I love that. Here's how we'll do that. You're trying to get the drop on her. I'll let that, using Sadie and a clever little plan to give you an advantage. And
Yes.
trying to get that drop on her. So I think that's what, trying to employ some finesse to slip in
Sure.
there. So defying
Sure.
danger. Yeah.
Let's defy danger. So I'm rolling 3d6 plus 2 for the finesse and getting the drop on her. Oh boy. An 8. Still get an 8.
Okay.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you can do it. Wait, that was with advantage. Oh wow, you
Yep.
rolled crap.
Hey man.
You can do it, but the GM will present a lesser success, a cost, or a consequence, or maybe a choice between them, or a chance to back down.
I have an idea to join in on this BS, since I don't know if that might help you make your decision here, Rich.
He's taking a drink. He's thinking. He's
He's
thinking.
thinking.
Right, because you've succeeded. There just has to be a cost to it. The intent was to get the drop on her, like you've got her dead to rights. I think, yeah. Here is, you can back down if you want. You'll have the drop on her,
Never.
but in her desperation, she is going to aim the ship at one of the like struts of Neffel Station to like slam into it. The idea that like, I've got a gun on you, I'm gonna crash into a thing thinking it will throw you to the ground, and I am strapped into this pile of shit, I'll be fine. That is what she's going to try to do, unless you want to change your approach somehow.
No, I'm fine with that. I know that Sin just had Doug hop in the ship, so she might not have control of this ship for much longer. Doug is everything you want an Enzellan to be. And so I hold the blaster to her and I just say, I'm giving you one shot to get out of this because I liked your sister. I don't like you.
Nice. That's really good. Yeah, but you agreed to it, so it happens. So she slams into one of those struts, like I'm imagining like docking struts, right? She slams into that, throwing all you guys. By the way, Cincinnati's going to be like thousands of credits to have that repaired. Just so you know, it's going to be a lot. Like,
You hear a
cogs.
Wilhelm-like scream, except I go, no! Thinking of all the cost.
Cool. So, yeah, she slams in the ship into that. It throws you guys off. She's calling your bluff. Like, are you going
I
to
fire.
straight
Yeah,
up shoot her?
I shoot as soon as it shakes. I'm firing.
Awesome. So each of you please roll a d6 from getting tossed about, and then her desperate gamble does not pay off, and you shoot her.
Take 2 damage.
Hot tossed about. That's good.
Sometimes.
That's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll fire. And what move is that? That is, it's blast. Okay. Do you want me to roll with disadvantage because
You
we're
roll-
being
you
thrown
roll
about?
damage. No, you
Oh,
just
just
rolling
damage.
damage.
Oh, okay. Well, great. All right. My damage is a D10.
I scream, "Don't kill her! She's just upset about her sister."
Only 3 damage.
Nice. You fire, you hit her right in the back because she's getting tossed about. By the way, did we see how much damage did you take there, Cincinnati? D6.
Oh yeah, I never marked
there?
it, but I only took 1, I think, because I have 1 armor.
Did you roll? I
From
missed it.
earlier?
No, just now.
No, just now.
Oh, are we
'Cause she
rolling?
crashed.
Yeah, you're in
Oh,
the ship.
because of
You
the
roll a
crash. My
D6.
bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
Lo siento. 1d6 because we hit something.
Struts.
We hit turbulence. Okay. 3 minus 1 is 2.
Minus one
And then I took
possible.
1 earlier, so
Yeah, you shoot, bam, hits her in the arm, and you see the like front console starts sparking, right? Because it goes through and through,
No.
and she falls off, and she's still strapped in, right?
Mhm.
But it hurts a lot, and so she. What do you want to do? Because now the console's kind of.
I'm gonna wave Sin forward. Sin, get her. Get binders on her. Whatever you want to do. Doug, we need you to take control of this thing fast.
Is she out?
It appears that she's not dead, but out. Like getting shot at that point. Yeah, that's messed her up.
Oof. And did we say that something that the console got hit?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I think the console got hit and a panel has opened and like there's a bunch of wires and this just hurts my soul, but I reach into my baby and I pull out this wire that's already like fried and I use that to make shift some of these. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, you have to cut her free from the straps where she belted herself in, and she's not putting up much of a fight. She's nearly passed out. You wrap that around her wrists and pull her away, and cause the ship is listing a little bit. The good news is you're in a gas giant, so for a few moments you're good. You're not falling. But she's. Oh, there's
Duchess
a ship
Gambit
that just came at a light
just-
speed ahead of you. You see a couple of Celestins go. What do you
With the
do?
jowls.
Yeah, I'll quickly, grab to one of the panels. There's usually redundant controls of some sort. There's a
Surely
co-pilot
there's
seat or something.
co-pilot thing, right?
Yeah,
You
so
totally have
I'll
a co-pilot set up, right?
Smash on
Cincinnati?
that and try to take the ship back down.
Amazing. I'd like to see you pull off a maneuver.
All right. The maneuver, of course, is
Getting out of the way or acting fast, you roll plus dex.
Okay, love that. Love it. Love that for me. 13.
Wow.
You've never seen such maneuvers, Rich.
Nice. That is amazing. I'm really impressed by that. That was mighty good. Good job.
I only use one hand. I have the blaster up just in case Sin decides to do something silly like let her go. And he just bring it on down. Nice and cozy. Take it right
Sweet.
back to the landing bay.
Soulstons are talking back and forth to each other. Whoa, that was scary for a moment. Yes, but that is a very professionally piloted craft. And then one of them says, "Is that Lando Calrissian aboard?" We cut back to the medical facility, which has this like Sith theme music playing in the background now. I think I may actually have some music to play. Yeah, I do. So the last thing she had said is, "I can't believe he chose you over me." You hear that low hum. Now, I'll kill everyone you know before I give you the sweet gift of release. And she's now going to turn and try again to kill Tyr Lepath.
Yeah. I think we see, on Tassa's eyes, we see her eyes narrow, and we see that shift where she's pissed, right? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use telekinesis to rip the lightsaber out of her hand. And I'm going to do this using focus, right? So it's not a roll. And I want to smash that lightsaber against the wall. So,
Ooh.
would you like to see a roll associated with that?
You take the lightsaber out of her hand. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think the question is, do you destroy it? Yeah. And that I'd like to see a roll. I want to let the dice decide if that destroys her lightsaber.
Would that be an attack?
I think so. So let's have you do your damage.
I'll just so do damage or just roll an attack?
No, you manipulate the small object.
Okay.
She had looked aside. But you need to roll the damage to see if it's enough to destroy the lightsaber.
Okay, so that's a 4 plus 1 plus 2 piercing.
Wow, I think that does the trick, right? Yeah. Cool.
And I think at the same time, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you like snatch it out of her hand, slams against the wall, and it explodes. We see the little the crystal fall. And then what did you want to do?
Oh, at the same time, I do I'm on the ground, I think. Whenever she struck me so hard, I'm on the ground. I'm going to do a roll into her feet, into her shins, and bring her down. And I think we're going to tussle hand to hand, like in the flashback with my brother, right? So.
Very cool. Very cool. That is an attack. So let us see how that goes.
Let me roll that. That is a 12.
That very much hits.
And let me find the attack stuff over here somewhere. Oh, that would do it. I've scrolled over too far, so I can't see it. Okay.
When you fight melee or close quarters, roll plus strength. On a 10 plus, you do your damage, and you get to pick one. You can avoid, prevent, or counter your enemy's attack. Strike hard and fast for an extra d6 damage, but suffer your enemy's attack.
Yeah, I think I will. I'm mad. I'm going to do extra damage. So my damage is a d6 plus an extra d6, and let's see what that looks like. That is a 4 and a 5.
Oof.
Yeah.
Nasty.
But I do not avoid the damage back. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then, just a moment. Trying to remind myself of her. Yeah, it was a D8. She does a D8. So please roll a D8.
Okay.
She's not using the lightsaber.
That is my third 8.
Wow.
Yep.
The Force saves you from going down.
Yeah.
That is nasty. I think what happens is that you. How did you strike her? Because she struck back.
So this was a wrestle.
Yeah.
So I think what we see in the scene is, it's very reminiscent of that flashback we just saw. And we saw where she gets on top. As a child, she got on top of her brother and was like, punching him, and then her brother like slipped out and jumped back on top of her and kind of choked her from behind. And I think what we see is that same move happen from Sombra where she slips out to try and choke me from behind, but I was expecting it this time and get a couple of blows in on her.
Nice. You get a couple of blows in on her. It knocks her back, and she reaches out and grabs one of your leku and just twists, and that's why it hurts so bad.
Good.
Yeah, it's getting vicious. Sorry,
I'm just narrating.
Some kind of wrestling. Is that a wrestling term you just used there?
It's a
The
BJJ
rear
term.
naked, because that totally threw me into thinking things were different than I'd originally intended.
So you
I'm-
see,
Rear
first
naked
Tasa-
choke.
Yeah, first.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
thank
you
you.
might not be aware. You might not be deep into
I'm
it.
very ignorant in the ways.
Tasa hit Sombra with the Imanari roll, which is a pretty complex, name for the Japanese wrestler Imanari, and it's an entry to a leg lock position, really. But the problem was Sombra had the grapple. She had the hooks. She got in there, went for the rear naked. Tasa slipped it, flipped around. She's still in her guard, and then grabbed the leg. You hate to see it. It's tough. It's tough out there.
That's great. Okay, tonally that was probably not the best timing for me to ask that or read that aloud. But yeah, that's the thing. She grabs the leku. It's a quick flash of pain. Your eyes water, Tasa Bray, and what does she do? Yeah, I think what happens is it's one of those moments of two people are fighting and then a third person comes in. Doors open up because she just walked into a medical facility and cut someone in half, and there's a person who like has a blaster, and it's just one of the space patrol, the security person, and they're like, okay, lay down on the ground, because you two are just fighting with fists, so they think they're good to go. And she will just reach over and force push that person, slam them back into the ground. What do you do, Tasa Bray?
Yeah. I am, like I said, I'm very angry. I would like to use one of my moves, but twist it. I have a move called Force Healing, which I can heal an ally a certain amount, and I roll and blah blah blah. I want to do the opposite. I want to siphon from her, right? And I think she turns to do that force push, and I think I grab her face and I stare her in the eyes, like I pull it back to me, and I stare at her in their eyes and start to suck some of that health out.
Oh, roll plus
Yeah.
wisdom.
Yeah.
See how this goes. Come on.
That's
So
an 8.
hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
You're pulling from the dark side.
Absolutely.
I'm offering you the ability to roll with advantage.
I don't know that she would know the difference at this point. So let's roll with another d6 and see what that total is. So by the way, I'll take advantage, but I want there to be consequences of it, right?
Oh.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consequences will probably be felt in your epilogue, but you've just taken a step into a much wider world. The whole side of the universe, in fact.
Yeah. So I think that's again, that makes it an 11. So it says you heal 1d8, and let's see how much damage I suck out of her. Only got a point.
Oh man, you rolled so many 8s in a row that the dice
know.
were like, well, we can't give him another 8.
Yeah.
Still though, that is a thing. As you just pull it, we see some black veins along her yellow skin as you draw some of her essence, and you regain a health.
And I think we actually see the black veins almost like they come out from the eyes as we're staring at each other. They like form on my eyes.
And Sombra's whole demeanor changes as she says, come with me right now. I will teach you more of what you've just done. Save your friends. You become my apprentice.
So I'm certainly not doing that. I'm gonna attack her again. What's the best way to do this? Probably my best way to do this is I'm going to use telekinesis as a physical attack. So let me roll that again. Because that's what we do. Is it okay if I roll an attack?
Sure.
Yeah.
She's going to be attacking you back.
Yeah. So that is a 9. Which lets me do my damage, but suffer my enemy's attack. So let me roll
The dark
my
side
damage.
would like for you to triumph here because of your anger. If you'd like to roll with advantage, you can.
Ooh, what would she do? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do that just because she brought my friends up, right? So that's a 5.
Yeah, let's push
That
that to a 10
makes
plus. That's great.
it does. And because it's dark side, I think I'm going to do the extra damage.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, rather than protect myself. So let me roll.
Tempting the dark side is.
That's right. So that's a total of 8. And then, oh no, I was going to say she does damage to me, oh no, she does do damage to me.
Yes, she does. So I think what happens is you used telekinesis, right? Are you just using pure force to slam into her like an invisible fist? Were you throwing her away from you? What do you think?
What I imagine on screen is she actually steps up as if she's going to do almost a martial art move, like I'm going to hit and bend her back or something like that. And I think there was something behind her that I kind of want to knock her over, but I'm using the telekinesis, not I'm using mind bullets, not fists, right? So I'm going to just basically use that to enhance my, that it's not really a punch, but that fold maneuver that I do to push her back into whatever that object is behind her.
Cool. Yeah, you do that. You slam her into like a gurney of another person. She folds back. The gurney slides out of the way, and she falls down to one knee. And that's when you feel a sharp pain in your side, and see that she basically shoved a scalpel into you. Please roll a d8.
Yeah. That's 6. I think that's enough to take me out.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. So, let's see. What happens? Is there? I don't think that we ported over any kind. Yeah, there's no.
Is there a
interesting-
blockade move in this game?
I don't. I think we should pull the black gate move into this because it's interesting.
I
So let's
love the
quickly
blockade
pull
move.
up the dungeon world rules as we harken back to the original source this was pulled from, which grabs his little dungeon world sheet.
The sacred text.
The sacred text.
Page turners, they were not.
Dang it. I thought I had put it some easy place to grab, and I have so many different dungeon rolled other things that this the base.
I can quote it. I can quote it by
I'm
heart.
sure you can. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. When you go down to 0 HP and find yourself at the black gate, narrate what it looks like and roll 2 d6s. On a 10 plus, death is not ready for you. The GM will tell you how you continue your life and the quality thereof. On a 7 to 9, death gives you a bargain. Work out with the GM what that bargain is.
Yeah.
On a 6 minus, it is your time. Cross the black gate.
My favorite part though is roll 2d6, no bonus, flat, because death doesn't care. right?
Last
So
breath. There we go.
That's
Yeah.
not
so let me roll my
Nice.
2d6 and let's see what that looks like. Rich, do you want to share screen?
Yeah, we should definitely share screen here because that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Let me
Before we roll, can I request what it looks like to Tassa as she
Yeah.
is about
What
to
does the black gate
cross the
look like?
threshold?
Oh, that's true. So I think that she looks down and she sees that scalpel in her side, and it is blood. It drops out, and as she sees the blood, exiting her, kind of dribbling down, we see this rush. And again, it's sort of like it's very similar to the flashback that we just saw, where there's this whole jumble of things. But this time we see Turlapath, we see Sin, we see Cause, and they're, the adventures that they're having, and we go back to see exactly the issue that they're having, the threat that they're under right now, which is a damaged ship as usual, faltering and smashing through part of the Ark station, and we see the gunshot that actually earlier shot Sin, and all that kind of stuff. We don't see that it was just a graze. We just see her friends in dire need. So, and I think that
Oh, that's
we get that
harsh.
hue. Let me. So I'm going to roll the 2d6.
Let
I'm
me
going to
share
wait.
screen so we can all
Yeah.
see.
It almost reminds me of what Luke must have seen, right? On Dagobah a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
Okay,
it.
so here we go.
It rhymes.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
guys, I can't.
Okay, a 9. On a 7 to
Okay.
9, death itself will offer you a bargain. Take it and stabilize, refuse, and pass beyond the black gates into whatever fate awaits you. You hear a personification of the dark side telling you you can save your friends. You can stop them from dying at this moment if you take Sombra as your apprentice and embrace the dark side. That's what death offers you as the bargain.
Death is the dark side.
Plot twist.
I think um I think what we actually see is, this bargain is coming from the suit, right? That suit that we saw earlier. And it
Yes.
says,
That's good.
The
embrace it,
mask
take
and the
me.
suit,
Yeah.
yes.
Take me and take Sombra as your apprentice. You will become stronger. And we see Tassa kind of reach out towards the suit and grab a hold of it. And the mask is there, and I think there's this breathing, and grabs a hold of the gauntlet, right? And the gauntlet kind of grasps a hold of her hand, and then we see a flash of her brother, and he says, um this destroyed me, remember. And Tassa grabs that gauntlet and throws just the gauntlet away, and then it flashes back into the med bay and she collapses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Oh. Mm. Wow. That's amazing.
Amazing.
If you guys are okay with a hard frame, I think the next thing we see, and we don't care about what time, what happened, but we see Cause in Cincinnati enter the med bay. Sombra's not there. Tear Path is like out of focus, but appears to still be in her gurney. And Cincinnati, Cause, the two of you see Tassa Bray, her body lying there on the floor.
Oh my
What do you do?
Oz, I think, turns and grabs Cincinnati by the collar. If you hadn't let this problem go on, we could have been back here. If you had dealt with her and not thrown her the keys to your ship, we could have been back here protecting Tossa and Tirla. You can't just let things go because you don't want to make a choice, Sin. You got to do something sometimes. Kaz lets him go and walks out.
Okay, I would like to roll the blockade move because that just killed me. I lose the remaining of my HP. That's so brutal, but I love it.
So good.
I think the music rises at this point, and Sin is just crying over Tassa's body, and he's believed everything that Kaz has said. Everything that Kaz has said, and I think we see him do.
Do we move to epilogues? Because it feels like that is a great setup to epilogues, unless Cisco and they have a different idea. I'm pitching you the idea of
You're
jumping
pitching me
straight.
the idea. Yeah. This is epilogue adjacent. I think
Okay.
I'm holding Tassa's body. I think I do the thing where I close her eyes, you know, and then I think Tassa wears robes, right? I think probably I think there's some sort of, and tell me if this is okay with you, Stephen, some sort of like written like scripture or book or something that like Tassa and Sin have been like sitting down and like learning from, you know? And I
Yeah.
think he's gonna take that little book, and then we get a shot moving away from Tassa or from Sin holding Tassa's body, and then like there's sparks and just like chaos around from the fight, you know, and then we like cut to black.
Nice. Kaz, do you have any epilogue ideas?
Yeah, I think my epilogue is not far long. It's not far later. It may be a couple of days, a week at max. And Kaz is armored up in a dark, rainy alley. And you can see up ahead clearly what his eyes are focusing on. The back of a yellow Zabrak in a black cloak. And he pulls open his comlink and he makes a call. And he says, "We have one chance to make this right, and then we're done. Meet me here, Sin." And then ends the comm call.
Does Cincinnati Soul Run answer that call? Does he come there to watch Kaz Kingrave take bloody vengeance?
Yeah, I think we cut to like the same cyberpunk cantina where in the TV shows we've seen them like put the prosthetics on people, and we have cyberpunk music in the background, and he's meeting with a contact from the rebellion, and yeah, he's like, well, we always need good pilots. The bad ones die all the time, you know. Hopefully you'll last. And they ask him, they're like, what's your call sign? He's like, you can call me Bray. And he's like, okay. We're doing the Skywalker ending. And then he says, unusual, but okay. Well, we're ready to go. And then he's walking out of like the little desert hut or whatever, and he turns back dramatically and he's like, there's one more thing I gotta do. And then that's when Kaz's voice comes through the comm, and he's like, we have one chance to make this right. And then he goes, I'm on my way. And then we fade to black again. And then we have the music from Transformers 1, the Linkin Park music.
Linkin Park in my Star Wars.
Linkin Park
shit right
adjacent.
there.
Linkin Park adjacent.
Linkin Park
That's so hard.
It's guarding Linkin Park in my Star Wars, okay?
Don't make me say the M word. I will say the M word.
Wow.
May I?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just looked up in Star Wars world there are drama moves.
That's
Okay.
right. We're
And
gonna
I checked
steal a
out-
drama move?
I am. The death move for all of the Jedi are the same. When you die, you can become a force spirit. You appear as your Jedi character to anyone trusting their feelings and give them advice and guidance. Tell them what honestly you think your best course is. If they do it, you both mark XP. Okay, so I think during that, I think we see Sin flying in. Are you on the Duchess? You think? What kind of ship do you think you're in? Sin?
Yeah, I think we're taking the Duchess. Poetic
Ah.
justice, baby.
And I think you hear. So you're headed towards where Kaz is, and you hear Toss's voice, and it says, "You need to protect Kaz from himself. There is vengeance, but you don't want him to turn over to evil, and your balance will bring him to the side of the light." And that's all.
I just got chills. I love it. I like that as a post-credit scene. Like maybe Kaz and I are about to go, like kill this person, and then like Tassa is now in my mind, like making me doubt myself at the very last minute. Sorry, Stephen. Go ahead.
No, and it's exactly like in A New Hope, where we haven't seen a Force Ghost yet. We just hear that voice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that rules.
That's great.
Still no Linkin Park after here, right, Rich? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I do like Linkin Park.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, you gotta have boundaries somewhere. We wouldn't be friends if you didn't have boundaries.
So what do you do with that information? It's in your hands. Do you allow this to take place? Do you guys
I'm okay. I'm
Sombra?
okay with leaving the audience hanging here.
Yeah.
We don't know. Does Sin
It's even
go
better.
through
You know,
with it?
yeah.
Listen, the Hunt for Sombra is coming out in 3 years. I'm pretty sure. Like they've already started casting it. You know, it's pretty exciting.
That's right. The minute this released, they made the announcement that the Hunt for Sombra is.
I thought Darth Tossa Bray was going to be happening.
Oh my gosh, the dice, you guys! This went in a totally different way. I loved it so much.
It's truly so far opposite of what I expected to happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Sin got a Jiminy Cricket Force Ghost now. Has gone full dark side. I love
Kaz
it.
hasn't gone full dark side. Kaz's
Yet.
drive is to bring the guilty to justice or justice to the guilty. And god damn it, you should feel guilty is how Kaz views it.
Wow. I love that. I love that transference of anger. And I realized I should have checked in. I should have done a check-in at some point and said, "This is where I'm going. Is everybody ready?"
It was great. It was
Yeah.
good.
Great.
It was really great.
It was
And
great.
I didn't know I was going to do that until it happened. And it was like, oh yeah, in Kaz's mind, the whole reason they had to go on a freaking detour is somebody showed up with the ship. And why did they have it? You know, it just, that was.
And I love it as an arc for Sin. And I love what Tassa said, which is, I'm rewording what you said a little bit here, Stephen, but essentially there's a difference between justice and revenge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
This is a dangerous person that maybe shouldn't exist. That's valid. But Kaz is now towing Kaz is now towing the line onto revenge. And I love that.
So good. That was amazing.
I've had chills for like 7.5 straight minutes.
Ooh, wow, that was good. Okay, yeah, I gotta. I know we have a hard stop in 20 minutes for Cody, so if we could, I'd like to take a quick bio break, and then we'll do wrap up, etc., and get you out of here. So,
Perfect.
See you guys in a couple minutes. We're back, and I am copying the last breath move out of my Dungeon World PDF to stick it in our basic moves because Cisco, what a brilliant suggestion. Thank you very much for saying, hey, let's stick this in here because I think it added a lot of texture to that tragedy, and it was really, really awesome. Thank you for that. Your knowledge, and expertise in the dungeon world.
I'd like to thank the Gauntlet for teaching me Dungeon World.
Cool. Let's do a round of stars because they're, if their wishes, I'm gonna forget them by the time we have a new season of this.
Well, there's only one real wish, and that's more. Right? We can all agree. More.
It's true. More would be good. More,
Gosh, I do.
all
Oh
more.
gosh, every time I'm ready to, end the game, it pulls me back in with Cody. I too will have to join on that wish because now Tasa tells me what to do in my head and guides me. I want to explore that.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is great. It just means Steven gets to play 2 characters next time we come back.
essentially, yeah.
I was gonna say, if we come back, I want to play Sadie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh,
stars.
oh
Let's get to
gosh,
stars.
yeah.
I'll start.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That
That's-
is amazing.
That's good stuff. Oh man.
I am
so-
agog.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stephen, huge star for the description and everything happening with you and Sombra. The flashback, basically you got to kind of control that whole scene. Like you set up the flashback, which created this theme for what was going to happen during that scene past the present action. And it was just so sick. It was so rad to go through all of that and then end the way you did. Man, what an out. That was powerful stuff. Cisco, huge star. And again, you keep pulling back on things that happened in previous sessions that I've forgotten about. Like the whole, I'm cradling Tasa. Tasa and I have been talking about like what death is. Like that was a whole thing that you were studying with Tasa and sharing that moment. That's a huge star. And also your epilogue, damn. I mean, chills all around, but that really was like getting me amped again. So 2 big stars to that. And Rich, huge star for bringing it back for 3 more sessions so we can dabble some more and just really sticking the knife in and twisting it, man. Good work.
And the best way. Yeah, I'll piggyback on that and say, yeah, Rich, amazing GMing, really good hard moves, man. You're usually so, for lack of a better word, gentle with your soft moves. You protect the characters because you want your players to have a good time. But then when you went hard, this was the time to go hard, and you went hard in like the best way. Amazing. Start to you for not saying yes to all my BS. I'm happy that we have boundaries somewhere, and we found out that one of them was Lincoln Park. I love that. I mean, but seriously, like, I think that's a good sign of a good table, right? Good table culture. So I appreciate that. And yeah, Steven, also huge star for going out like an absolute freaking boss. And especially for me, because I'm like, oh man, it would be so poignant because I'm thinking it would be so poignant if a character dies, because I always love that in stories. It means that our adventure had a cost. And I really hate it in fiction when characters come back from the dead. I'm like, no, let there be a cost and let them make the sacrifice. So what a plot twist for me that it ended up being Tasa. Amazing. Like, I just feel like that brings new life to the story. And Dash, not a star for you because you weren't here, but we miss you, man, when you watch this.
Sure.
I'm sorry your character got thrown around, but it was for a good cause. So and yeah, Cody, that moment when you grab me and like you blame it all on me, what a good story moment, and what a good thing to like set in front of my character, to be like, look, your journey isn't over. Now you have to deal with this shame, and to verbalize that. Chef's kiss. Stars all around.
I'll dovetail onto that. That was brilliant, Cody. Brilliant. It felt very cause. It was an incredible story beat, and it's one of those moments that allows Cisco to tilt his character in a direction that we all knew he wanted because we've got these wishes, and it's great. I loved it. It was so good, and it was so intense. Steven, wait, am I jumping in front of somebody who hasn't done stars? Sorry.
Steven hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Stars, Steven?
Yeah. Number one, Rich, thanks for being so. I guess it was be honest and true to the characters. Like everything that happened made sense. It was like we let dice roll where they may. You know, we talked about this, you know, off screen about like, do you pull punches? Do you no? You roll. That's what it is. You know, it's full damage. It's exactly this. And you know, I loved the introduction of like, oh, the dark side will give you advantage. The dark
That
side
was
will
so
totally
good.
give you advantage.
That was
so good. And it was like, well, shit, I'm pissed. I definitely do that. And Cody, again, it's been mentioned before, but your anger shocked me. And I was like, oh no, that's exactly what Cause would do. It was like, that's exactly right. That is amazing. And then, you know, Cisco, I really liked how you dealt with a lot of the stuff. And to be honest, I have to admit, during a lot of the scenes where you were like at the beginning where you were chasing the droid and all that kind of stuff, all I could see was like Lundo's plate flapping around behind you and jumping and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's right. And I love I love the introduction that like, oh yeah, some people recognize him as Lando and some people are like, no, that's the Cincinnati guy. My my one big thing is you know, again, I wish that Anders had been here, just like you had mentioned, you know, Sin, because, you know, it's the group. Not that, you know, I'm a big fan of the open door, and I think it's, like you said earlier, you know, family's important, and you've got to do that. And I took part of last session off. But, you know, hopefully we'll be able to discuss with him in future games and stuff, like how things wrapped up and get his take on it. Yeah.
That's how you know it's not truly over, because Anders isn't here. Everyone has to be there for the finale.
It's true. It's end of season, but it turns out that the actor who played Tyr Lapath was actually pulled into another project because she'd done so well on the Stellar Conflict series. So
100%.
Yeah, she offered to do voiceover work only, but they were like, no, we actually physically need you here. So they wrote her out and had a body double just lay on the gurney. Just act like you're having trouble breathing, but you're still okay. Don't worry, we'll stick you in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie later. Sorry. It's a very, very bad joke. I couldn't resist. Steven, the whole dark side gives you advantage was 100% keying off of you describing Tassa's mindset and how she was drawing into the anger and the excitement and engagement of Cody and Cisco, and like, oh, this is like a gauntlet. Sorry for the phrase, but like a gauntlet's been dropped. You know, I have to pick that up. How do I do it? And you know, there was always the like, oh, what am I doing? Dark side points? Am I like, no, let's just go with this simple thing right now. The dark side is going to give you advantage. And then, Steven, I love that, you know, the other lesser players would be like, oh, sweet, okay, I'll just take the dark side. But that you said, like, express, I want there to be a consequence. We made that, you know, it was an agreement. And I really appreciate that because it's a full understanding of what Star Wars is about. There are no fucking gray Jedi. You don't get to draw from the dark side whenever you want, whenever it pleases you. That is some millennial bullshit. The dark side has a cost.
Y'all hear that out there?
Fucking gray Jedi.
Stick that in your pipe and
just
smoke
because
it.
you say I don't believe in the dark side and the light side, in my worldview, that doesn't mean it doesn't have a cost. You know, you don't believe in it, that's fine. It still exists. It still permeates the universe. It still is part of Star Wars.
Let me pull up my multi-paragraph Slack message about this like 6 months ago in the Star Wars chat. Hold on now.
Oh, I think I remember that message and I was like, yep, I vibe with that. Yeah, Yeah. So anyway, that was wonderful, Stephen. And I know that's an offer that I wouldn't necessarily have thrown out for certain players, right? Certain players, you're like, okay, just roll, do your thing, right? I'm not going to tempt with dark side per se, because not really good players know what story beats are being hit there. Lesser players might say, okay, cool, I get a cool advantage, or oh, sweet, I'll just whatever and not worry about it. So I really
Well,
appreciate that.
and that was very important because we saw it helped frame the Black Gate move, because it was like turning over to the dark side, taking a step, and then with the Black Gate it was okay, you're fully dark side at this point. That's the choice, you're dead or you're dark side. And it was like, oh, you know the story beats showed the couple of steps, and then we wanted to see the redemption at the end. Without those steps it wouldn't have been
It would have been too stark.
as good. Yeah.
I don't know if I would have
Yeah.
made that specific
Yeah.
offer, or if I probably would have, because as Cody pointed out, death is the dark side. It turns out, I guess so. But it had so much more weight to it. It felt earned in a way, that choice, and it felt like a thing that Tossa Bray might even consider.
I real quick, I don't think death is the dark side, right? Because that's what we know of the philosophy in the movies. Like, death is just a natural part of life. But I do think that, of course, like, the only thing that's going to make you an offer to extend your life in that last moment is the dark side.
Yes, that's very true.
So that rule is that. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Thank you for refining that offhand statement. Cisco, you're like, I really love how you ran just like full force into things, and there was a whole like go, pull back, when just not wanting to take Rika's sister to the task that she deserved, and like trying to offer mercy. And then when Cody's as cause is like, this is the price that we all paid because of that, and that tilt of where you took since staying at the end, and the call sign and all that was just chef's kiss. Like, God, you guys have gone all separate ways. Like, what even happens in the next season is still a conflict. Who even knows? Cody, cause going, I mean, let's be honest, a little dark at the end.
Just business.
Love that. That was just delicious. Really, really good. This was great.
The big question in my mind is like, what playbook would Sadie be? And I just want to stop there and be like, wow, that's fascinating. So
Yeah, exactly. Season 2, Sadie, the nope, can't be a droid, could be a fringer, but really doesn't feel right. Yeah,
I mean, she's a bounty hunter. She works in the business.
The mercenary.
Could be a merc. Could be a merc.
Could be a
mercenary.
tech. Oh, a tech could be really interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, that's great. So yeah.
Fun
Could be
stuff.
Black Widow working for Tony Stark. Maybe she has her own thing going, her own past.
It's true.
And we don't know anything about Sadie. It's just such an open door.
And we're making up stories about what's going to happen. What if she was like skimming off the top from you, and that's why you never got paid?
Sadie would never do that to me.
Right.
All right, I'll give you a robust character brief on what you can and can't.
That's right. Yeah.
This is
Dark
fanfic.
Sadie is like Linkin Park, okay? That's a new Star Wars Saturdays phrase we could use. It's Blank is
Linkin
like
Park.
Linkin Park.
It's Linkin Park adjacent, you guys.
Linkin Park. Oh, this is good stuff. We are at time. Thank you all so much for playing. This has
much
been
fun.
wonderful follow-up mini series to our series. It's delightful. I love playing with you guys. That will stop the recording.